Mike Pompeo addresses the nation at CPAC. He says Democrats don't care about jobs. Yeah, that's about right.
You take yours and I take mine and move on with the flow. Fight, baby, go, 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 go.
I'm not smelling that Pompeo is readying for a presidential run. I don't know what it is about it. It seems like this is really a supportive speech for Trump. He's basically just talking about what they've already accomplished. At the end here, he also hammers the Democrats on their attack on jobs.
We focused on the economy that put Americans back to work. We did it by also securing our borders, giving Americans the chance to make a good wage and a chance to take care of their families. And we also, I'm from Kansas, don't forget, we built American energy jobs too. We rolled back regulations on job creation, and we wanted everyone to take risk and grow their business and create opportunity for people all across America. I heard this time and time again. I remember I ran for Congress in 2010 when President Obama was in office. Employers and workers had both lost confidence. We restored that confidence. They knew we had their back, and we knew we'd support them, not burden them. We wanted them to be successful. The hallmark of our work here in America was that we were bold and fearless. And what I hear today, I hear Democrats pretend they care about jobs in America. But before the seats were warm in the Oval Office, they destroyed 10,000 jobs in a pipeline. And I see too, my predecessor's predecessor, green geek John Kerry, right? He thinks these folks are all going to go make solar panels. I tell you what, you ask the good people of Midland, Texas, Oklahoma, or Kansas, or South Dakota, or Pennsylvania, you think petroleum engineers and rig hands are going to go out and make solar panels? No, and you can bet this too, those cheap Chinese solar panels will start flooding into America like you have not seen. And this won't be good for the United States of America. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes we get accused of saying we don't care about the environment. We create jobs that destroy the environment. That's just not true. We didn't do it. We didn't protect the environment on the backs of American workers. There were more job openings than people looking for work for much of these past 4 years. It was an amazing accomplishment.
Here's Pompeo on a strong U.S. military. He says, if you touch an American, you will pay dearly. The world has to believe that not only you have a large military, but that you're crazy enough to use it. And I mean, use all of it. Pompeo here underlines the Trump administration's strong military policy.
We protected our freedom abroad. We kind of did it like Grandpa Earl did. We were honest, hardworking. We treated the world as it is, not as we wished it were. We weren't going to live in fantasy land. I will tell you, I walked out of some very quiet rooms in Europe. We had a restrained foreign policy, but when the time came, when the situation so required, we led. We came hard. We came heavy. I sent messages repeatedly to bad guys around the world that if you touch an American, you'll pay dearly. Now we all know that strength deters bad guys. Weakness begets war. And we want to stay out of wars. We did. I was with the president so many trips, and he would tell his counterparts across the world, he would say, look, I'm going to put America first as the president of the United States, and I expect you will put your country and your people first. And we'll work together and accomplish this for both of our countries, and we did that. America first is right for America. It's right for each of us. America first secures our freedom, and the entire world benefits when America is fearless and bold and strong. Let me just tick through a few ways, right? So first, we show up, Paris Climate Accord. Was a job-destroying joke, so we said au revoir. Look, we all want clean air, safe drinking water, but the Paris Agreement was a fantasy for elite diplomats who just wanted to virtue signal. And when President Biden re-entered this deal, I can tell you that Xi Jinping was smiling every single minute. And you can't stop sending pallets of gas to the leadership. There'll be a war. Well, we did, and there wasn't a war. We were told you can't move the United States Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. There'll be a war. Well, we did, and there was not a war.
Yeah, and then here's another warning on the Biden weak foreign policy. That basically we're back on track to appeasing Iran. Playing around with Iran is exactly how you start World War III. And Iran knows that Biden doesn't have it in him to ever declare full-scale war. So that just means they're going to hit us as hard as they can. It doesn't matter how much military Biden has. They know he won't use it. They know he won't use it properly. They know that he really is just acting like a tiny, tiny bully when he fires one little missile. These guys, military isn't in his element. It is not in his skill set. Shaking hands and sniffing interns is his real skill set.
The Abraham Accords rewrote decades of failed shuttle negotiations because we were willing to go against the elites of the foreign policy established both left and right to secure American freedom and to champion your values. It's unfortunate. It looks like the new Team Biden, appears to be headed back into appeasing Iran. This will be a disaster for the United States of America and a disaster for the region as well. I remember, too, President Trump sent me to Pyongyang when I was a CIA director to meet with Chairman Kim to prepare for the historic summit that was ultimately held in Singapore. You all remember this. We threatened fire and fury. Fire and fury not to go to war, but to deter it, and deter it we did. You know, since those two summits, one in Singapore, one in Hanoi, the North Koreans haven't tested a long-range ballistic missile, and they haven't tested their nuclear weapons. Exactly 0 tests have been conducted. That's real foreign policy.
And most importantly here, he ends on going against cancel culture, that we ought to have a freedom to, and as an artist, this has been a real theme of mine because I've been absolutely thrown in exile by cancel culture. But he also says this is the most pro-life administration in the country's history, and I agree. And that's why I'm such a huge fan and supporter of this. This is true conservatism, being pro-life. This is also why you work with a big party to secure judges. For people who are dismissive of life, no one is more like communist China. When you're for reducing your offspring in a China's one-child policy, if you're for disrespecting the unborn, then you are more like the CCP.
We worked tirelessly with great success to deliver on our values, American values that have made this such a special, unique nation. Look, this country was built on what our founders understood and then the Bill of Rights that came behind that Constitution. They built a nation recognizing that our rights come from our Creator and not from any government. Our union becomes more perfect every time we defend our sovereignty and we defend our borders. And I'm proud that we were the most pro-life administration in the history of the United States of America. It was my job to deny that any taxpayer dollars from any hardworking America ever went to perform our board. Forget too, President Trump appointed an awful lot of judges that understand the words life and liberty and that words that have real meaning. I worked with the Mexican government, my counterpart, Foreign Minister of Mexico and its president, to secure our borders. We worked hard too to make sure that drugs and other things didn't traffic across that border. And that meant too protecting your right to own firearms. Our Second Amendment matters. It builds communities. It builds strong families.
Well, Mike Pompeo, that was a great speech, and I'm really happy that he addressed the nation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'm Doug TenNapel, in exile.